You've tuned into another edition of The Break Room, a weekly conversation about how the City of St. Augustine works from those who do the work every day. Hosted by the City of St. Augustine's Communications Director, Melissa Whistle, The Break Room offers a closer look at the different city departments and provides updates on current and upcoming projects and events. And now, your host, Melissa Whistle.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in. You're listening to The Break Room. I'm Melissa Whistle, Communications Director for the City of St. Augustine. We're back this week with an update on Nights of Lights and the free park and ride shuttle. Xavier Pellissier has returned to the studio this week. X, how's it going with the shuttle?
Doing great. Everything's going good.
Weather's been decent.
Well, so far the weather's been real good. We had a little bit of rain on us here a couple days ago, but everything's good. Everything's looking real good. Everything's coming up. We kind of started off with our shuttle a little bit on the light side, if you will, bouncing around about 50 to 75% of the of what we had, say, 2 years ago. Because last year we didn't have it because of the COVID, but things are picking up as each week goes by. You know, kind of when we had our light up night. Right. We had our light up night. We were somewhere around, say, 55% of what we were a couple of years ago. Okay. And then during the Thanksgiving weekend, we ran it Friday and Saturday. And then we kind of bumped up into the, say, 65% range. And then this past weekend for the Christmas parade had a lot of people along the Christmas parade route. Great. And we actually were about the same amount. So we were we were actually about 5% more this year than we were 2 years ago. So it's, we're still riding through this year. We'll see once we get all the way through the Christmas holidays, we'll see how it matches up with a couple of years ago.
We're seeing lots of people downtown, though.
Oh yeah,
and people are catching on. Word's getting out. People are remembering. Oh right, the shuttle.
And that's right, because there is no parking downtown. Right. It's packed, or even our parking garage fills up, and that is one of the biggest complaints or concerns, if you will, is that there's not enough parking. And so that's the whole purpose of it. We call it satellite parking, where people are parking on the outskirts of town. We've got shuttle buses, and we're running them in, and we have more buses than what we had a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, we had the shuttles were packed. Right. They were standing in the shuttles, and so this year, because of the COVID, we wanted to have plenty of seating room. We don't want to be packing too many people in the buses. Right. And so the buses have been running, say, about 50%, and nobody's standing. Okay. So we're, people are kind of spaced out, but and that's largely because we are running more shuttles. And
I was just going to say, we've been taking a survey. If anybody listening has taken the shuttle and didn't take the survey, we've got some social media posts asking people to take the survey to tell us how we're doing, and we've been getting really positive feedback.
Oh yeah,
you're mentioning more buses themselves, so they constantly run. There's not any kind of a set schedule, correct?
There's no set schedule. We've got 9 buses that are running, and they're constantly going back and forth, and there might only be, say, about 5 minutes or so between the buses, and so normally there's no waiting line. So everything's real simple right now. We're really operating very efficiently with the buses. We could probably delete one or two buses and still operate, but because of the COVID, we want to have extra room.
Nice bit of elbow room. Plus, if I come down and shop, I've got bags and packages I want to take home with me.
There's plenty of room on the buses. Come on down.
They start at 1:00 in the afternoon on Saturdays. In December, we not running it on Christmas, but we are doing an extended service between Christmas and New Year's, right?
Exactly. We won't be running on Christmas. Traditionally, Christmas Day, we don't have quite as big a crowd, and then plus people don't like to work on Christmas.
Right.
To be quite honest with you, it's kind of hard to find the drivers and stuff for the shuttles. So everything kind of works out good for that. But yes, we will be running the shuttles the day after Christmas, and so that's the Sunday through that Thursday. Okay. The Friday before New Year's Day, we've got or the Friday it's the
New Year. Yeah, New Year's.
The New Year's, the numbers kind of start dropping off. Plus, the city of St. Augustine Beach, they have their fireworks on New Year's Eve.
Sure.
So we don't quite get as big a crowds on New Year's Eve in downtown St. Augustine. So that's why we're not running the shuttles. Normally, the parking garage can kind of handle the crowds, and that's the main purpose why we have the satellite shuttles, the satellite parking with the shuttles, is because our parking garage fills up.
Right. So quickly.
And there is no place because. Traditionally, the best place to tell people to go park is our downtown parking garage.
Right.
That is and it's right next to our visitor information center. Everything works out real good, but we're getting so many people in here that our parking garage actually fills up, especially on Saturdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, especially Friday night. Saturdays is just we're jammed with a lot of people in downtown St. Augustine.
Now. Hold that thought about the parking garage getting full. If you're just now tuning in, you are listening to The Break Room. I'm Melissa Whistle, Communications Director for the city, and I'm sitting here with X Pelletier. He is the city's mobility manager, and we are just now talking about the parking garage filling up, and we're going to preempt a little bit of something here. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Tell me about that, with those signs I'm seeing that are not quite working yet, or are there numbers yet? You've got something coming that's going to show people when the garage is full.
Okay. Yeah,
maybe.
Okay, I didn't know.
You know where I was going. Yeah,
but we've got 3 signs that are out there in the vicinity of our parking garage. So, and this is leading towards something really big. We're trying to get the information out to all our users and the people driving towards St. Augustine with all our smartphones and everything. You'll be able to pull up the information of how full the parking garage is. Is the parking garage full or not? And so right now, our step one,
this is preempting. I want to let X off the hook here. I'm putting him on the spot to tell us about this, but it's something that's coming. But I think it's something that people might, if they're seeing it, they want to know what it is. So go ahead.
And you kind of got to do baby steps in this thing. And so right now, our first step is we've got 3 signs that are out there just before you get to our garage, our parking garage. And it displays exactly the number of parking spots that are available in the parking garage. And so it's a dynamic sign. As each car comes in, it counts plus, and then as each car goes out. So it's going to be really cool.
Very cool.
But that'll be the step one, and then our next step will be to getting the signs farther out, out on the perimeter of the town, so that as the people come in, they can go, they'll know right away the parking garage is full. Don't bother fighting the traffic to get there. Just go ahead and drive to the shuttle, the satellite parking lots for the shuttle. But even taking it another step after that, let's go ahead and get the information out into the vehicles. The vehicles and the smartphones and everything, the data is out there, and it's just a matter of getting it out. And so that's coming.
It's coming.
Hopefully here in a couple of years that will. So, but this first year, here in the next couple of months, it was supposed to have been done a couple of months ago.
Right.
But the contractor is behind, and we're pushing.
And so it goes.
It's been one thing after another.
Right.
But anyway, I do expect it to be implemented sometime here in the next month or two. The signs that are around the parking garage, and then hopefully here in the next year or two, we can get the information out onto the smartphones.
And that's just it. Actually, make a very good point. These things take time, and we're not talking months. We're talking years. Right. So I appreciate you giving us a little glimpse into what those signs are. I was driving by on West Castillo the other day and saw one of those. I'm like, I think I heard a little something about that. So let folks know it's coming. Be patient, but we're getting there. And in the meantime, we definitely want folks to be using the satellite parking and the free shuttles. Talk to me here quick before we have to leave. What's spring looking like? Are we going to be able to do shuttles again in the spring, just depending on how the schedule goes?
Well, we're planning on being full tilt, just like we were 2 years ago. So we feel like we're back to normal as far as the businesses and the crowds downtown. And so as far as spring's coming, we're planning on gearing up just like we did 2 years ago. But we'll see. There's some of the big, huge festivals. Right. The big 3, I call them. We've got the Lion Seafood Festival and the Celtic Festival, and then we've got the Rotary's Rhythm and Ribs. Well, the Rotary's Rhythm and Ribs moved to October, and I'm not exactly sure where the schedule is for some of these other big festivals. So we're figuring that out. Right now, I'm pretty busy right now.
Yeah,
Melissa, to be right,
you are.
Right
You're not
ready
to look at
so
March.
right now, I'm just trying to get through the Christmas holidays, and after we get through the Christmas holidays, then I'll start focusing on trying to set up the shuttle for the springtime.
Well, and you do a great job. There is a lot going on. We recently had even a concert down at Flagler Auditorium that we were participating in, and that was a little addition, and that was a special service that we offered. It's not being offered now, but it was a special service that we did, and hopefully that worked out well.
One thing that's new this year was we started one of our lots is the Browdy's lot, we call it, which is at the intersection of US 1 and King Street. And so that was something we haven't done in the past, and so that was something new. We're always constantly looking to expand, make it better. Where can we improve? And so the Browdy's lot was a new lot this year, and so that's kind of spreading our resources a little bit, but it works out really good.
That's a great location because you obviously can capture the folks coming in from the north, from Ponte Vedra on the other ones, but you don't want to have to drive. I mean, that's a huge section if you're starting down there by like Target, Winn-Dixie, and then you got to get all the way through all of that to get up to the health department. That's a wonderful location.
Yeah, from the St. Augustine South neighborhoods and stuff like that. That was one of the complaints or recommendations, if you will, from the residents out in the county was that you have things for the people coming from the north end of the county, but there's really nothing for the folks coming in from the west or from the south end of the county. And and part of the rationale behind that was the north end of St. Johns County just exploded with but the development now is coming along 207 and the south end, and so and the Browdy's lot is a very centralized lot too. You can actually even walk. It's only 1 mile. It's 1 mile from the Browdy's lot to the Bridge Alliance.
So I can park there even if I don't get on the bus.
Even if you don't get on the bus, you can walk downtown. So it's a little closer, and so that's a plus for it. But everything's working well. I've got a whole bunch of things I could talk to you about, Melissa.
We got a few minutes left, so go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish up.
Another thing we've got is our bike share program. That was a little thing that we cranked up a few months ago, and so the numbers have been increasing on it also. So it's been, I can dig into numbers, but I don't know if I really want to get into all that or not.
But it's been a success. People are using it.
It's been a success, and as each month goes by, we're seeing an increase in the number of riders and then the uses of the bike. So, and our busiest spot by far, which makes total sense, is our bike hub at the parking garage, our Visitor Information Center parking garage. And so the people come in and park. We've got 1,200 parking spots there at that parking garage, and so that's by far the big draw. And people come there, and then they come into the city from there.
And then they hop on a bike. Yeah. Now, are you able to? You'll be able to move those or add more dependent on the usage and the volume of traffic on the bikes. I mean,
right. It's a work in progress. It just started. We actually had a ribbon cutting about a month ago, I think it was, and so we had a soft opening a while back, but then we had our actual splash ribbon cutting about a month or so ago, and so it's been taking off, and so and with everything, it's feeling a little bit of the pinch too. Some of we need parts, and so there's the supply chain problems throughout the whole nation out there. And so we're supposed to have 100 bikes out there, and I'll be right up front with you. We're down to about 60 or so right now because we need the parts,
right?
And so that's where the Bolt company that runs it. They're having a hard time getting the parts in. So this is a pinch that everybody's feeling across the whole nation. But generally speaking, it's improving. As each month goes by, it's improving, even with those problems.
That's great.
And so same thing with our shuttle program. So our shuttle program, even with the problems of, say, COVID and everything, we started off around 50% the first couple of days, and then as each weekend's gone by, the ridership has been increasing. So maybe by the time we get between Christmas and New Year's, we might be
at capacity,
just as much as, if not more, than what we were a couple of years ago.
And you're not going anywhere because you're obviously doing a great job at your job, and mobility is where it's at. So we have run out of time.
Yeah.
So we're going to have you come back.
Well, I want to say one last little thing.
Tell me.
Is I want to ask our folks that are coming in for the Nights of Lights, they all want to try to park in the neighborhoods and stuff like that. Please be considerate of our residents that live and that's why we have the shuttle.
Right.
It's very easy to go to the shuttle, hop on the shuttle and ride in, and then you're not parking deep in the neighborhoods and blocking people's driveways and stuff like that. That's one of the complaints that we get.
Okay. Excellent. Thanks for joining us, X.
Thanks.
As we wrap up another edition of The Break Room, I hope we answered your questions. We want to keep you informed about what's happening in and around the city and that you hear it here from the people doing the work and making it happen every day. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You'll find us at City St. Aug. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.
You've been listening to The Break Room, a weekly program addressing projects and programs offered by the City of St. Augustine. Join us each week as the city's communications director, Melissa Whistle, has in-depth conversations with the people who make our town work to meet the needs of our community. The Break Room is produced by communications specialist for the City of St. Augustine, Cindy Walker. See you at this time next week for another edition of The Break Room.